Plymouth Valiant, 1967 to 1973. The Valiant was completely redesigned for 1967 model year in the station wagons, hardtops, and convertibles were dropped. Buyers who wanted a Valiant-type hardtop coupe or convertible could choose a similarly styled Barracuda, which was still based on the Valiant with a slightly sportier style. The new Valiant model range included 2- and 4-door sedans on a newly lengthened 108 (2,700 mm) wheelbase. The design was straightforward and rectilinear. The body sides were mildly sculptured with a tapering lower feature line that widened toward the wheels. The new fenders had a vertical slab look. The grille was vertically split and subdivided horizontally. Vertical taillights were segmented and had a fanned-out look. Horsepower rating for the 170 cubic inches, 2.8 liters, slant-6 engine was raised from 101 bhp, 75 kilowatts, to 115 bhp, 86 kilowatts, by installation of the slightly bigger camshaft introduced on the 225 in 1965, together with Carter BBS and Holley 1920 carburetors using the larger 1 plus 11/16 in, 43 mm, throttle bore previously reserved for the 225, rather than the smaller 1 plus 9/16 in, 40 mm, carburetors formerly used on the 170 engine. Federally mandated safety equipment was provided on all 1967s, including a new dual-chamber brake master cylinder, energy-absorbing steering column, wheel, and instrument panel controls, shoulder belt mountings for outboard front passengers, a new 4-way hazard flasher, and, for 1970, lane change directional signals were included. For the 1968 model, the horizontal division bar was removed from the grille. A fine cross-hatched insert was framed by a segmented chrome surround. Model nameplates were moved from the rear fender to the front fender. The 318 cubic inches, 5.2 liters, 230 bhp, 170 kilowatts, V8 was a Valiant option for the first time. All North American Chrysler products got front and rear side marker lights, amber in front, red in the rear. These were round in shape, surrounded by an attractive chrome bezel. Valiants built after January 1, 1968, also got new front shoulder belts as standard. For 1969, a new one-piece, full-width grille, new taillights and trim were featured. Standard engines were unchanged, although refinements in the Chrysler Clean Air system, formerly Clean Air Package, produced better operating economy from the 6-cylinder engines. Improved drum brake self-adjusters, a more efficient power steering pump, and improvements to the optional Shercup differential were also highlighted. Starting with cars built on January 1, 1969, front seat headrests were now standard. 1969 Valiants got new rectangular side marker lamps with federally required integral reflectors. For 1970, the Valiant was carried over with detail changes, including a new black plastic grille sculptured differently from 1969's metal item. The central portion protruded flush with the forward edge of the hood, while the remainder of the grille was set back from the front plane. The 2-door sedan was dropped, replaced by the new Duster Coupe, see below. For all except export Valiants, the base 170 engine was replaced by a new 198 cubic inches, 3.2 liters, version of the Slant 6. The 198 gave better performance than the 170, and was less costly to make, since it used the same cylinder block as the 225. The Valiant was virtually unchanged for 1971, small revisions included removal of the center grille emblem and a new kind of finish treatment on the grille surround. It now had a blacked out look instead of the previous argent silver treatment. For the 1970 and 1971 models, exterior and interior trim were slightly revised, and there were engineering changes for better drivability, improved soundproofing and decreased emissions, the latter in compliance with regulations mandated by the newly created Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, implementing new devices such as an EGR valve and an activated charcoal evaporative emissions system. The 1971 Valiant eventually set sales records with 256,930 calendar year deliveries, so there was little motivation to change it for 1972. Only details of the taillights and grille were altered for the 1972 Valiants. New surface mount side marker lamp reflector units replaced the more costly previous flush mount items. Beginning in 1971, a badge-engineered version of the 111-in, 2,800mm, wheelbase Dodge Dart Swinger called the Valiant Scamp was offered. This used the Dart Swinger two-door hardtop body shell with Valiant front sheet metal and dual tail lamps carried over from the 1970 Dodge Dart. For 1973, the vent wing windows were deleted from the Scamp, and all models were given a new grille and front bumpers able to withstand damage at a 5 miles per hour, 8.0 kilometers per hour, impact, as well as steel beams inside the doors to protect vehicle occupants inside impact collisions as mandated by NHTSA. The door beams, the new bumpers and their impact-absorbing mounts, a rubber-booted telescoping system attached to the car's structure, added mass to the Valiant. At the same time, engines were being progressively detuned to comply with increasingly stringent emissions regulations. Performance and economy suffered as a result. Through the early 1970s, the Valiant took more than 40% of Plymouth's total sales volume. These models also had considerable success in foreign markets. Worldwide, Chrysler affiliates and subsidiaries sold American or Canadian-made Valiants from complete knockdown kits, as well as locally designed and engineered Valiants and Valiant-based vehicles incorporating a mix of North American and local design and components.